something days before kickoff that is totally unique to Sean. This dude is a trip. He's a trip. He did another media tour.
Is it even really a tour, or this is just part of it? You know what I mean? Like, if the tour at some point implies there's an end, I think this is just part of the stream of consciousness, Sean, that we get now for going on 3 seasons.
So yeah, if it's not a tour, it's a residency.
Yes, it's a residency. There you go.
You just have a residency doing that. Oh my gosh, like
he'll be at the Kay Adams on Wednesday night. He'll be at the Rich Eisen on Thursday.
I'm telling you, this is not common for NFL coaches. Even to the degree that Sean does it throughout the summer, it's not common.
And not for a newer coach with an organization, right? If he was doing this in New Orleans and he's just so tapped in there, and it's one thing and you got connections, but like he hasn't even been here for 3 seasons yet.
No. But it's Sean. It's Sean. And from a coverage standpoint, like we're covering the team. It's great.
I love it.
I mean, it's just so much content. We can't even use it all. Sincerely, we can't use it all because there's just so much. But it's just very uncommon for a coach to do as much media as he does at the Super Bowl, as much media as he does throughout training camp. It gets himself into headlines and all this stuff. And then here you were yesterday, 5 days before kickoff, and you have John Gruden in the building. You're going on Rich Eisen's show. You're going on Peter Schrager's show. I mean, it's hilarious. It's freaking hilarious. But we get good stuff from it. All right. Now, Sean's just got to go out and win, right? And we will not be talking, and we're not even being critical now. It's just kind of making a point just how unusual it is. But Sean yesterday went on Rich Eisen's show and talked about Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos.
He's a tremendous foot athlete, so he can throw from a lot of different body angles. He can run and step up and get you a first down. He's got outstanding arm strength, and I think oftentimes we try to group quarterbacks based on the offenses they're playing in college, and they can't control that. So, we try to eliminate all the quick throws, the bubbles, the smokes, and really try to evaluate where a player can be projected in an NFL offense. And I would say the one thing that really was unexpected. We knew he was extremely accurate. We had seen that, the most accurate passer in the history of college football. We knew how he played on third down. We knew he threw from awkward positions. We knew he had great leadership skills.
All right, so he's just kind of talking up Bo, but it's like we're going over the draft process.
Right. We've heard this story before.
Yeah, and it's just one of these things. It's like, what do you think Sean's aim is at doing all this again? We're literally recapping the last spring's draft. It's 5 days before the game, like evaluating Bo Nix.
If you want me to be cynical, it's a guy that likes hearing people ask him so he can hear the sound of his own voice. You know what I mean? He just loves talking shop. He loves talking ball. He loves opening up his football Rolodex and the vault of memories that he's got from New Orleans and Dallas and all that stuff. And he loves Bo Nix. He is so excited about this shiny new toy that he came home from the department store with.
But it's not even brand new anymore.
Yeah. Well, yeah, okay.
It's like you're still talking about like the package it came in.
Right.
Coming out of Oregon.
You're reliving the day that you opened it up on Christmas.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just so funny, man. It's just so funny. Dave on the RamosLaw.com text line says, do you think Sean's short media career made him this way versus other coaches that don't come back after broadcasting? Maybe there is something to that.
Possibly.
Because we don't know how much actual media Sean did in New Orleans, and maybe he got a taste of it, and he's like, I really like this, but I also want to go back to coaching. So I'm going to find this hybrid mode for me where I'm going to be on the national stage as much as I want talking, right? He's already got to talk enough. He's got to meet with the media every single week, multiple times. But
and he's going on 35-minute press conferences.
I know, yes, it's true. It's true. Here's a little bit more from Talkative Sean on the Rich Eisen show. Listen to this.
Last year, there's a lot of unknowns. Whenever you start a rookie quarterback and you're in year 2 of a rebuild, you're 90-some million over the cap of dead money. So you're operating with 2/3 of a budget. I think I don't know what the expectations were. I don't think they were that of a playoff team. But I can tell you, in the building, after another draft, another offseason, a free agency, I can tell you the expectations of this team. And our league's never changed. It's always been win the division first, try to get the best possible seed, and then win a Super Bowl championship. And those are the goals of this team.
So not as brazen as he was to, who was that? That he spoke to?
Not Wickersham.
No, although Wickersham
Yahoo
was
Sports. Charles.
Yeah, Charles Robinson. Yes. Wickersham was embedded in the facility when they're playing the playoff game.
Yes.
Which is another just really interesting
and before
approach.
Charles Robinson, it was Jarrett Bell.
Yes.
There's always one.
So he has not been as brazen as he was when he said, there's 6 or 7 times that I felt like this. No, he said, there's 6 times I felt like this. This is the 7th time that I think this team can win the Super Bowl. He's been asked about it 10 different times since then, and he hasn't quite jumped out of the airplane again.
Right.
He sort of tiptoes around it, and that's that was a 54-second answer to the question from Rich Eisen, what makes you think you guys can go on a run and win the Super Bowl? Which, of course, he's asking the question because Sean's already put that out there.
Yeah. Never fully answers the question, by the way.
No,
it's very just kind of like squirrel.
Yeah, it's just a little bit. He massages it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the quotes are the quotes. You have to go win football games.
Yep.
Win the Super Bowl for me? No. I'm not one of these guys. But you can't. You have to show tangible NFL progress year over year. I don't think that you can call your shot in such a brazen way and not show tangible progress. What is tangible progress represented by? Winning the AFC West for the first time in a decade. Maybe beating Kansas City. I was going to say in Arrowhead, but
without even labeling it that specifically, how about having a better than 1-7 record against teams above 500, or being better than 1-6 again in one-score games? You know what I mean? And Bo Nix is clearly, there's tangible evidence on tape that he is processing faster and he has a higher command of the offense, and you've got more balance in the run game. The win-loss column or the depth of a playoff run, to me, should not be the overwhelming determining factor in the success or failure of a season in year 2 with a young quarterback.
How does it look? How does it feel after the dust settles? And if it's a similar setup to a year ago, where there's a lack of believability against good teams that you're referencing, it's not winning the division, it's a first-round playoff exit, based off the bar that he has set for us, that would probably be looked at like a failure, right, if you're not showing that tangible growth. So we'll see. There's a scenario here, and he talked about this with Peter Schrager. Think about this alternate universe with Sean Payton, where Broncos country hates Sean Payton because he's coaching the Raiders. Imagine that. So now he's he's our guy, and he's got his quirks, and sometimes he can be abrasive or belittling. Could you imagine the version of Sean Payton where he's that, but for the Raiders? He apparently, now according to Schrager, he's never told the story before the last 24 hours. But this is the alternate universe where Sean Payton is actually coaching the Silver and Black.
Bill comes to see me and he says, Al Davis wants to interview you for the head job. And he said, I'm going to be honest with you. I think he's going to want to hire you. And so I fly out to Oakland, spend 3 days with Mr. Davis. and then have a family vacation in Florida. He and I would speak nightly now about staff, and it became apparent to me that he was going to offer me this job. And
silver and black. This has got to be tantalizing.
I went to Joseph A. Bank and got my black suit with the silver tie. Thursday at Disney World, I get a call in the morning from Michael Lombardi, and he says, look, Al wants to speed this up. There was still 3 days left of this vacation. He said, well, you're going to have to call Al. And so we were at the Rainforest Cafe, and the family was having lunch. I walked outside under a giant mushroom.
Yep.
And I'll never forget it. I called Al Davis. I said, look, I made this commitment. You and I have talked about commitments. And he understood, went out and saw him for another 3 days. Bill's getting impatient. He just wants an answer.
Sure. He needs to hire a new OC if you leave.
And I understand it. Bill said to me, look, I know it's hard to turn down a job. He said, but you're going to have other opportunities. And when we hung up, 2 minutes later, the phone rang, and it was Jerry. And he asked me to come by the house. He sent a driver. And I think it was the same type of trip that Zim took. There's a moral to this story. If Jerry's the last guy you see, you're probably staying.
Imagine Sean Payton patrolling the sideline of the Raiders, coaching against the Broncos, and just being his natural self, the unapologetic.
Yeah, he's got a little saltiness to him.
He does, and that is a scenario that is just crazy. Now, many years ago, he probably still wouldn't be the coach there today, I wouldn't imagine, but he spent a long time in New Orleans, so
it's
you
possible.
just don't know. You just don't know.
Shout out to the Rainforest Cafe, by the way.
Yeah.
Love that spot.
Dude, I wish, and I've said this to Phil, I wish that and we have our fun with Sean